Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome to today's Soul Chat. So let's talk about the relationship that we have with ourselves and how we are cultivating a safer place within us. Okay. I want to share a story with you. So in the last few months, I've started to realize the relationship that I have with myself, the relationship that I have with God, and the relationship that I have with my son, and how all three correlate to each other. And moreover, how my relationship with myself is dependent on how I feel in my nervous system, okay? How safe I feel within my body. The more that I've started to do nervous system regulation as a daily practice, the more I've started to check in with how I feel, the more I've noticed how I can actually quite clearly see the separation between when my son is feeling unsafe, when his nervous system is not regulated, when he's feeling unsafe, versus when he feels calm and safe, right? And the reason why I want to share this with you is because in our motherhood journey, we're so ready to help everybody else. We're so ready to make sure everybody else feels safe, everybody else feels comfortable, but we don't really take the time out to check in with ourselves. And if we are not feeling safe, chances are the people around us are not going to feel safe. It's not authentic. They're picking up on our energy, okay? And when I say feel safe, I mean, how do you feel in your nervous system? Is your nervous system feeling like kind of crazy? And if it's feeling crazy, do you feel anxiety? Do you feel stressed out? Do you feel like overstimulated? Or do you feel calm? You feel collected? You feel like at peace? You're able to really enjoy the present moment. You're not going into this loop of stress that often happens when our nervous system is not regulated. And I brought in the relationship with God because our relationship as a mom is very similar to our relationship as a child to God. God plays a role as a mom or a parent to us, right? And so if my relationship with God is shaky, if there's uncertainty there, that's going to leave me feeling unsafe. It's going to make me feel this lack or this sense of insecurity within me and this sense of doubt and fear, right? When I don't know what my relationship with God is, when I kind of believe in God, but I kind of don't believe in God, when I don't have a good foundational relationship with God, everything feels a little bit shaky for me. And this is the very interesting thing about building a relationship with God, is that it's a work in progress. There's some days that you feel very uncertain. There's some days that you feel so certain. You feel so in sync with what God has planned for you, and you're in deep surrender, and you just know everything's going to work out, right? There's no shame to either one of them. The idea is, are we bringing awareness to both moments, to what's happening when we feel more doubtful, when we feel more fearful, versus when we feel more certain, when we feel more secure? Are we bringing awareness more so to our nervous system to understand what are the things that are happening to trigger my nervous system to start feeling unsafe? Because by the time you react to something, your nervous system has already kicked into, I don't feel safe, okay? And so let's say you feel really doubtful about something, you're in your mind about being stressed about something, right? And you haven't sat with this, you haven't brought awareness to it, you haven't brought awareness to what's going on in your nervous system, chances are you've already reacted. You're already going with the flow of feeling unsafe and maybe you've complained about it. Maybe you've, yelled at your child about something. Maybe you've yelled at your spouse. Maybe you picked a fight with somebody else at work, whatever it may be, because you don't feel safe. And in that moment, you also don't know that you don't feel safe. You just feel out of whack is the best way I can describe it. Like, you just don't feel aligned. Like, when our nervous system is not regulated, we just feel out of alignment, okay? And it feels very normal to us because we're just making it up in our head, like, I'm just so stressed out. There's just too much going on in life, so this is normal. I'm just going to act this way. Instead of actually taking accountability and responsibility to actually sit with it and start to ask yourself if you feel safe. And so in a nutshell, today's talk is really about if we took the time out to take care of ourselves, to build a relationship with God, to build a relationship with ourselves, and to check in with ourselves, and to actually ask ourselves, do we feel safe right now? And we had a daily practice of nervous system regulation, the same way that we take care of everybody else in our life, we would be in a different place. We would be in a very different place, okay? And nervous system regulation, regulating your nervous system, doing all these things is not like a one-time thing. It's not like, I'm gonna practice it for like 6 months and I'm gonna get it down and then I don't have to do it. No, this is a lifelong commitment. Because as we evolve, as we grow, we're going to continuously be put into situations that feel uncomfortable, where we feel unsafe. And as we're pushing the edges of our vessel to expand, every single time we're going to have to hold the hand of our nervous system and tell it, no, you're safe, you're okay. And this is why building a relationship with God is so important, because in those moments when our faith is so anchored in certainty that everything that's happening for us is for our highest good, then it's so easy then to do the work with our nervous system. When we don't have that anchoring, that relationship, that's when things start to feel like, what's the foundation? And things start to crumble, and we start to, move out of doing things that we really, really deeply desire. We just say we don't want to because we know that it's too scary and it's probably not meant for us. And so we turn away and we quit. And I know that's not the life you want to live. You don't want to quit. You want to continue to grow. You want to continue to evolve. And you want to continue to be in balance and in alignment with the divine. And so today's soul chat is really about building a relationship with yourself, their nervous system, building a relationship with God. And then once you have that foundation, what is the relationship now that you have with your child, with your baby? Because that is the foundation. Remember also, I said this in a soul chat maybe a few weeks ago, your children are observing you. So anything that you're doing, they're going to imitate it. And anything that you're reacting to, they're going to react to it because they think that it's okay. So if you want your children to be more emotionally aware, you want your children to feel safe, to understand what it means to be regulated, then you have to practice it for yourself, because they're going to learn from what you're doing. If you're teaching them something but you're not applying it, they're going to see right through you and they're not going to do it. Or maybe they'll do it and then they'll tell you, like, but why don't you do it? And then you'll have to answer that question, right? And so if you're preaching something to somebody else, to your child, to your spouse, to your family, practice it first. Do it for yourself first, and then go out and share it with the world, okay? I love you all so very much. Peace, love, and light. Namaste.